Hello everyone, my name's Tom and welcome to CodeBolt. Today we're going to be taking a look at this Sinclair Spectrum ZX Plus 2. Interesting fact, when I was growing up, this is the first, well, technically second device I ever learned to program on, but it's first where I ever got a bit serious about learning things like BASIC, and I did a bit of assembly. Obviously, I was quite a small child at that point, but this is utter nostalgia for me. Now, I bought it on eBay as a package. It came with a joystick, a whole bundle of games, but the device itself is not actually working, at least according to the listing. So we're going to test that now. So if I just pop on the screen up here, we've got the screen capture. I've got it plugged in through a series of dongles. If you're interested in how it's working, we've got an RGB cable plugged into the console at the minute. That's an RGB to SCART converter. Then I've got a SCART to HDMI. That's going into a capture card. And then I've got the output on the screen as well. So you should be able to see what I can see, and let's give it a go. I've not tried it yet. This only arrived at my house about an hour ago. So I'm really excited to get this going. Let's try it. So got the power into PSU. I've already got the RGB port connected. Line up those pins. Pop it in, and we've got a good sign. We've got power. Have got a light on, but I have no video. Where's the reset button? Reset button on the side here. Let's try resetting it. Nothing. I don't think these have a power switch from memory. Let's double check. No, I can't see any. Now, to be fair, this is as advertised. It's not working. It does have power. Okay, yeah. If I run this, I can see the tape head spinning. So again, there's power all the way through, but absolutely no video output. Okay, let's unplug it. Oof, it's a little tight. What is interesting on this is you can see we've got the TV output and the tape input / sound output. They are very, very corroded. I'll zoom in on that a bit more. But I think we're going to need to take this apart and have a look at what's going on inside. So, let me get the blue mat. Right, okay, we've got the mat. Got the screwdriver, and we are going to get this apart and have a look at what's going on the inside. Nice thing about this, compared to most of the other consoles and things I've worked on in the past, is this has normal Phillips screws. So we can just get in with a regular screwdriver. Oof, that's a lot of dust in here. I did see a lot of dust in the tape bay as well, so I think before we actually try and load tapes or anything like that when we get it going, we need to make sure we give it a good clean. So what is going on? Look at all this corrosion down here. It seems to be localized in this area. I think what I'm going to do is unscrew this board, which is the main board, lift it out, and we'll see if we can see anything underneath it. So nothing looks terrible. There is definitely some flux marks around here. And all around here. So I wonder if these ports have been soldered in by hand, which is probably why it's just got the extra bits of flux. I mean, we can clean that up, but I'm not sure that's going to cause the problem. Look how nasty this is. That's like it's been sat in water or something. But the rest of the board doesn't look too bad. It just looks like this corner, so I'm not sure what exactly is going on there. I think what we might do is we might get the little oscilloscope out, check the crystal's doing what it should do, and probably check some of these. I'm assuming these are the resistors to for the RGB lines. Don't know which one's which. I'll try and find a schematic actually, and we'll have a look, and hopefully we can figure out what's going on. Right, I've pulled up the schematic. I'll put it on the screen as we need it. But I think the first thing I'm going to do is start with the multimeter and just test the power rails and the power jack. So I've got the power supply plugged in. Again, I'll just pop that into here. This is DC power. And we'll just make sure we're getting what we expect to do. So I guess the first thing is, where is ground? I'm going to suggest this big plane coming around here is going to be ground. So if I just come over here and then I've got one here that says 12 volts. Is that 12 volts? Nothing on there. 5 volts? So we have got 5 volts. Oh, okay. Hi everyone, sorry about that. Battery ran flat in the camera. Right, I didn't get much further, to be honest. It's now a few days later. I've reassembled this and I just thought we'd do a screen capture, we'd give it a test with the RGB cable and we'll see what's happened. So I've got it plugged in and let's power it up. So you can see right now my capture device is saying there's no signal. If I power this up, the no signal disappears. So we know we're getting a signal, but we're not getting anything output. So I think we are going to grab the oscilloscope. So let's do that now. Right, still nice and dusty. Let's go this way around. So how do we want to probe this? I think what I'm going to do is find the ground, which is definitely here. Yeah, right. What we're going to do is we are going to pull the SCART cable out and test pins on that to make sure we're getting the signals we expect. Okay, so what I've brought up here is the Retro Computer Shack website. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the SCART lead pinout. So what we're going to do is get the multimeter on this. Sorry, I keep saying multimeter. What I mean is oscilloscope. And we're going to compare those signals to what we think we should be getting. Right, so let's test this. So what I've got is I've got the scope here. This is on channel 1. I'm going to zero this out as soon as I find a signal. Hopefully you can see that okay. So the first thing I'm going to test is pin 20, which is this top one here. Hopefully I can see a signal. Okay, so that looks like we're getting what we should do. If I just hold on to there. I'll put the clip end on the probe. If I latch onto that, just press auto. What that'll do is that'll set the time based on the voltage, and hopefully we can see that is so much worse. All right, let me mess with it. There we go. Right, anyway, after a bit of fiddling around, we can see we're getting a signal. And we're getting a fairly consistent signal there. If I set the time base to be... So there we go. You can see we're getting a signal anyway. So what's happening there is that's sending out a fairly consistent pulse. So we're getting a signal. That, you know, I don't know exactly what that is. I don't know if that's right, but hopefully it's data. So that's pin 7. Next we're going to look at pin 11 on here, which is this one. And again, we're getting some data. Red being pin 15. And again, we're getting some data. Okay. So actually, maybe the video output is okay. which is both interesting and a shame. What does that mean? I suspect this is outputting a valid, can't tell for definite, but I suspect it's outputting a valid RGB signal. And what does that mean? It means there's probably some other problems. One thing I did buy that we can try, I bought 2 chips. I bought this, which is the RGB dibbly-doo IC, and I got this one, which is the CPU. So I bought a new CPU, so I'm thinking we might try that. So this should be exactly the same. It's a Zilog Z0840004 PSC. From the date codes, this was made in 1988. This looks like it was made in 2009. So let's swap those over. Power's disconnected, and we'll give it a go. This CPU's probably not been at this board in a long time. Oh, this is crunchy in here. I do feel like there might be some oxidation, maybe even in here. Just, oh no. All right. I feel like I might have to pop this board out. We'll see what we can do. There you go, it's moving, it's coming. Oh, bent some pins on that. Oh, bent a lot of pins on that. That did not feel nice coming out. I am just going to bend these back properly. I don't want to damage this original one, especially if it's not, especially if it is working okay. As with all these new ones, you have to bend the pins in slightly before they fit in the socket. Is that in? Yes. Is that? Well, sorry, it's not in, but it's. Okay. That is a new CPU installed in the socket. So let's just give it a go. Not a problem. Sorry, I forgot to switch the capture over, but again, you can see it's just a completely blank screen. If I unplug it, we get the no signal output, which comes from the, well, sorry, it's not from the capture card actually, it's from the SCART to RGB converter. SCART to HDMI converter. Okay, let's just pop that in. Press the reset maybe. No, nothing. Oh, there is something on the screen. It's like it's trying. Alright, I'm just going to have a bit of a Google to see if I can understand what that is. It's like it's, I don't know, it's outputting like a rain on the screen or something. But if you can see that, I'll try and enhance it in post if it's not clear, but there's definitely something there. Right, let's have a bit of a Google, see what might cause that. I don't know, I can't find anything obvious. I've sort of pushed down and tried a few of these chips. This chip here, the TEA2000, definitely looks, sorry, let me unplug this a second. Yeah, this chip here, the TEA2000, which is definitely involved in the video output, you can see from where the traces go, seems to be quite a bit hotter than all the rest. Now I'm not sure if that's normal. It's certainly not too hot to touch, but since I've got another one, I think I might try and swap that out, and we'll see what that looks like. So I'll give that a go now. Okay, so we're zoomed in. This is the back of the chip we're trying to remove here. So it should just be these traces. Desoldering iron is just warming up. I think it is getting there. So let's see if we can get this removed. I think this might be easier if we flow a little bit of fresh solder onto these joints, actually. Okay. Yeah, I think the issue there is these pins are quite small and there's surprisingly little solder on them, so if I just flow a bigger lump onto them. Alright, let's see if that's enough to get this chip out then. Right, okay, that's proving difficult to desolder. Right, I figured out what was going on there. My desoldering gun had got blocked, so it wasn't providing enough suckage. So I managed to get that unblocked, and I'm gonna give this another go. See what we can do. Now, is that enough to lift it? Let's find out. Sorry about that. We've got this desoldered. There is one trace that's peeled up that I need to do something about, so I'll probably just tack that back on with a little bit of solder and then cover it up with some solder mask. But I've got the new TEA 2000 in place, so what I'm going to do now is just get that soldered up. Okay, let's just have a look at this one trace that's on this corner, which is just down here. So all I'm going to do is just tack that to the leg of the chip. We'll see if that works. If it does, we'll get a bit of solder mask on there or something. Right, I think we are ready to give this another go. Absolutely nothing different. We're getting the same sort of rain pattern on the screen. It's definitely moving around. I think it might be RAM. I may have to order some new RAM. From all my reading, it looks like it is possible that the DRAM fails. Massive shame, but at least this TEA 2000 seems to be doing the same thing. Right, I'm just gonna pop a little bit of this solder mask onto here just as a little fix. It's a real small bit. There we go. Right, that's on there. So what I'll do is I'll just hit this with a UV light and hopefully this cures. Well, like I say, we've made nothing better and nothing worse by doing that.